welcome you. Michael Cole, FB Live. Can you believe it? Number 85. And for our 85th episode, those of you that are joining In Search of Awesome, we're always on the hunt, man. Always on the hunt for the Jedi Master social media. Hair Ninja Man, we're hitting it all and all cylinders. Instagram are on steroids tonight. Katie West from Urban Betty's Salon, Austin, Texas. We've had a few of her peers on Time Gone Past for starters. Just give it up for Katie. Let me just talk a little bit about why I invited her. She's 24 years old, so she's just getting started, graduates high school in 2011. She does, 2 years or so of college. She thinks she wants to go into the medical profession. Grandma is in the business as a hairdresser. She graduates from hair school in 2015, scouts out Urban Betty, and the rest is history. I mean, she's really completing her first full year this year because a lot of last year she was associate, she was new talent. But her first year, she's trending. Are you ready for this? First full year in a level, unless she screws up in the next couple of months, 67,000 trending. I think she's going to probably crack 70. That's called boom, boom, indeed. And she says she's poised and persevered to do 100 grand in 2018. So we're going to have to keep an eye on her. 4 days a week, 35 hours a week. Look at that average ticket, $160. Haircut at $57. That's an average ticket that's almost 3 times haircut. So you know darn well that she's a Bali Lama and she's just crushing it on hair color, rebooking 70%, running at 100 plus referrals this year, and she's got an RTS. She's really teaching her guests how to take care of her hair. Her average retail ticket's $18. So she's firing it on all cylinders, and of course, she is a Jedi on social. iPhone 6 Plus she prefers natural light. I'm going to let her talk a little bit about this. She keeps it very simple. On her Instagram business page, just under 4,000 people following her, which is huge. However, 80% of her guests, which are about 120 of that number, they're following her. It's just, I think you're going to find how her best practices on IG. It's just going to blow your mind. So, I'm going to bring her in. We're going to tell her a little bit. I want her to talk to you a little bit about her story, and then I'm going to have her bring her best practices so that we can have some fun tonight. So there she is. Give it up for Miss Katie West. Can you hear me?
I can.
Oh, wonderful. You look great, and the Wi-Fi gods are working well for us tonight. So what I want you to do is just, did you hear me bragging on you?
I did.
Oh, you're welcome. So let's start with your story, Katie. It was interesting because when you graduate from high school, you were kind of poised for the medical, and then something happened. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So after high school, I went to college, went in the nursing route, and it just didn't work out for me. And then I just told my parents, I was just like, I'm moving to Austin. I'm going to hair school. And it happened within about 3 weeks. So it was a quick turn, but it was the best decision I've ever made.
Yeah, you told me you were like 2 years into post-secondary, and your parents are helping you to get through to the nursing end. And when you make that announcement, there was a kind of a momentary pause. And
Yes.
so now you're like focused on it to make sure that you come out a winner and you're just firing on all cylinders.
Yes.
So
it was a big decision, but it was a good one.
So you're in Indy, you move to Austin, you start hair school, and then where do we go from there? That once you're in hair school, what happened to you that you found Urban Betty?
I found them through social media, just kind of going through and finding them, and I also decided that I didn't want to specialize. I wanted to be able to do both color and cut. And finding Urban Betty, that they were able to give that to me, and also their education was really amazing, and that was super important to me to find in a salon. We do a lot of one-on-one work, so that was really, I thought was really great and what stood out to me the most.
So you enroll there. I mean, that's a Summit Salon, and I don't know, there must be something magical going on at Urban Betty, because I think you're the third guest that we've had on the show. In a couple of weeks, I'm going to interview your fearless leader. And so now, and you went through the associate program pretty quickly, and inside of a pretty narrow window of time, you go from associate to level 3, and you're like inches from level 4.
Yes.
So
yeah. I was in the associate program for a year, and then I started on the floor in September, I believe, and I was able to move up every 3 months by hitting my goals to get to be a level.
And then you and I are chatting the other day, and I'm kind of picking your brain a little bit about like how did you get from associate to 3? And you talk a lot about, yes, there's resources in Summit, but a lot about the one-on-ones, the monthly one-on-ones. Tell us a little bit about what that experience was like and is like for you now.
Yeah, so being able to kind of sit down one-on-one with either Kim or Michaela was really great too. And just kind of going through my numbers, seeing where I was at, and I was always keeping track of mine as well. So through my book and daily going through and just being like, okay, I'm here with this, and to be where I want to be with my numbers, I need to get to X goal. So being able to sit down with Kim and her go through that with me was really nice, so I could keep on.
And so now you're at, just this side of level 4, and we were chatting a little bit, like, 24 years old. What's next for you? What are you poised for in the next year or so to, like, where do you go from here?
Yeah, I'm really into education, so I would be interested to see where we take Urban Betty's boot camp. I think that would be really fun for me to be a part of. And I don't know, I'm just kind of living it day by day to see where it takes me and what opportunities I get.
And as I'm following you on Instagram, I'm starting to see some pivots from, static content. You're starting to move a little bit more into video tutorials.
Yeah, absolutely. I am trying to kind of alter my Instagram as we speak and go through it. I want to get a little bit more video content just to give my viewers a little bit more interaction. And I think it's just important to keep it spunky on your Instagram and do something new all the time, just to keep everybody interested.
All right. Well, I want to bring you to. You've got some really cool best practices in social media, and some photography stuff that you're doing. What's the idea? Like in your first key, you talk about how you get permission to photograph your guests.
Yeah, I asked them during the end of the service. We're rounding out our service. I normally say, would you like to throw some curls in your hair so we can go and take some Instagram photos? And I've never had a bad response. Everybody's like, yeah, that would be great. So I think it's fun for them too, to be able to experience that side of my industry. And everybody likes getting their photo taken and getting all glammed up.
And what I love, when we were chatting, I think it was yesterday, you're in any given week, average week, you're doing 16, 17 guests.
Yes.
For all intents and purposes, they're all getting photographed. That photography now is a very big part of your chairside manner, a very big part of your guest experience.
Yes, absolutely. It's kind of become just my ritual. I kind of built in time for it during the end of my service, just taking 10 minutes to go hop outside and get a good photo. I take about 6 to 8 photos per client, doing different angles, and then kind of I go through at the end and feel like which one I want to post. And then I send them to my clients as well via Instagram through their direct message.
And what's really cool is you keep it really simple. So you do it, natural lighting outside against a very natural backdrop. You do little to no framing or even watermarking. But when I go to your Instagram page, I mean, you are like documenting everything. So it's extraordinary. But you also have something else that I thought was really, really unique. And that is that you use the word model, that you feature your guest as a model. I want you to tell our viewers tonight what that is and why you think that works so much more powerful for you.
Yeah, it's something that I've done since I've started that I thought was just a fun little additive to my post, just kind of giving a shout out to my client. And also it makes them feel good. Everybody wants to be called a model every once in a while. But it was just something that I just thought, I was like, that would be a neat way to add a different little side to my Instagram, being able to feature them as a model and tagging them in their photos. So that also pops up on their feed.
And so now that this has been a part of your chairside manner since you began, you have a lot of guests that, you've taken their picture. They'll come back the next time, and now taking their picture is like part of the deal. And it's now your value added, one of your points of difference.
Yeah, it is. It's funny. Sometimes if it's like dark outside, I will ask my client if they want to come back on a different day, and we can like do some snapshots of it so the photo is outside and in the natural light. But my clients now, they love to do it, and they come in and they're ready with their makeup and everything on. So it's fun part.
Oh, I really want to make sure that the viewers really get that now that it's almost like the guest comes in. Once upon a time, they weren't made up because it was like, I'm going to have my hair done and I'm going to leave. But now they know there's going to be a photo shoot. They're a model and they're coming in made up. So this is a very, very big deal experience for the people that you serve.
Yes, absolutely. And I also like to refer it as a photo shoot. I do say, let's go outside and have a little quick photo shoot. And they always love that. And I think it's a really fun experience. And it's a good bonding time for me and my clients too. Because it kind of just lets them settle and feel really good about themselves. And I feel good about making them look beautiful.
The other part that we're seeing that's really taking on a more and more important part is anytime, the picture, your content that you're documenting ends up on your page, that's one thing, or and the salon's page. But now a lot of the content is ending up finding its way on your guest page. And I want you to talk a little bit about how that happens through tagging and selfieing and all that stuff, because that's becoming a bigger and bigger play, that when it ends up on the guest page, there's more referrals that's coming our way. Talk about that.
So I like to send my clients photos that I take to them on their Instagram through the direct message. And a lot of the times they'll post it and say something really nice. And I like to go back and comment and say, thank you for being such a great client. It was lovely to have you in my chair. I can't wait to see you next time. You look beautiful. And it's also really nice because on whomever comments throughout that, I like to go back and check and give love to them too, whoever comments, which is their friends or whomever it may be. And then also I do something I feature them on my Instagram story and talk about the client selfie that they've taken of their hair, or I kind of like take a snapshot of it and post it on there if they repost me too.
Now, do you notice that when your picture of them winds up on their page, how much more engagement do you see? And now it really sounds like you're engaging in the engagement that they're getting from their friends, and that conversation is really making a lot of referral rain for you.
Yes, absolutely. I try to go back and I'll comment back, or I'll give them like a heart on the comment that they post, depending on what it is. And then a lot of the times I either get a new client from that's sitting in my chair and just saying, I found you on Instagram from my friend so-and-so, or I saw your post on Urban Betty. So I try to go back and interact with everybody through all of my posts that are on Urban Betty Salon's Instagram, and then also my client's Instagram as well.
That's key. So what you're saying is a lot of your referrals will hang out on the salon's, Urban Betty's Instagram page. They'll see some of your work there, go over on your page to see some more, and when they come in and you're interacting with them, you're kind of finding that that's almost like their path to you.
Yes.
Huge. Now, I got a couple more minutes with you, and I want to really take advantage of it. I didn't ask you this, but I'm just guided to. There's just a lot of hairdressers, people in the salon and the spa that have been in it, 10 years, 15 years, and they're seeing this, social media, mobile, digital. It's like it's a real deal, and they're waking up and becoming cognizant of it, but they feel so ill-prepared. You just take to it like a duck to water. Like I'm asked all the time, yeah, but what are you supposed to say? How do you ask them and when do you ask them? And it's like natural for you. You're not inhibited at all, and you're finding that your guests like are into it.
Yes, absolutely. It's just something that's always came natural to me, and that I've started from my apprenticeship. Really, I was a part of Urban Betty's apprenticeship. We have to have 75 before and afters, so that kind of just got me into the swing of things. And then from there on out, I just continued doing it and just had it a part of my ritual throughout the salon. And I think it's really fun for me.
Right.
And I love doing it.
You just said something that I actually didn't hear you say in the pre-interview that's like huge. When you're associate at Urban Betty, you talked about 75 before and after. So say that part again, because that sounds like that was your on-ramp into the social media pool.
Yes, absolutely. So during our apprenticeship, we have what's called an opportunity day, which is us being able to bring in our own clients. But we're also required to have 75 before and after photos of them. So that's just really what got me into the swing of things, using social media.
So that was your on-ramp. It was now a part of the associate training in Urban Betty. Huge, huge, huge. Well, listen, we're out of time. And first of all, I want to thank you for coming and sharing your experience. It was huge, big time. But I want to keep in touch with you. I want to keep you on our radar because, like I said, first really full year in a level, and you're just this side, and you might hit 70,000, which is like unprecedented. I'm going to call Guinness Book of World Records when we're done and get you in their book. But you're poised. You may crack 100,000 next year, and if that happens, I think that's going to be unprecedented. So can I stay close to you and then have you back to kind of, check in on us and let us know your progress?
Yes, absolutely. I would love it.
All right. Give it up one more time for Miss Katie West. Well, first of all, she's starting to pivot into doing more video tutorials. And they're for her guest. And some of those tutorials end up on her guest page. So now the whole video thing, bringing into Instagram is becoming very, very important. But then she took us into her tips, and that she's utilizing the stories, the video tutorials. From there, she took us to how she's asked, how she gets permission in the consultation. Everyone says yes. At the end of the finish, you'll say something like, let's throw in some curls, like finish the hair, almost like get her model ready for the photo shoot, and then we'll go take some pictures. She takes 6 to 8 photos and gives the guest copy so that the guest can upload it to their page rather than to just tag the guest. And she'll keep an eye on what kind of engagement the guest is getting from their friends on their page, and then she'll start making comments on either the guest comments and or the friends' comments. And she's even now seeing that her guest will put a 1-sentence review of Katie in that caption. So it's nothing short of extraordinary. Now, if you scroll her page, it's Katie West, and you'll see at Urban Betty, the overwhelming majority of her clients are triple digits, and they're 20-somethings. So she's really clear about what she wants to, how she wants to craft that. So I think tonight it was just extraordinary. So give it up for Miss Katie one more time, will you? Because it was like off the charts. Now, next week, I think what we're going to do is we'll invite, I'm going to invite one of her coaches and her salon leader to be a part of the conversation, so you can really get a taste of a culture in a salon where social media now is part of the culture. Would be an interesting conversation. So stay tuned for that. I always like to end with, for those of you that are joining us for the first time, to hang out on this Facebook page that we do lives, and that is Michael Cole OTT. Hang out on Instagram, Michael Cole BGTD, as in boom goes the dynamite. And then also hang out on summitsalon.com if you're new to the community, because there are some just really cool stuff on that .com. If you hit a slash and put MC Live, summitsalon.com MC Live, you will see all of the videos. This was the 85th episode, and you'll see all of the videos from the newest all the way back to the most historical. So it'll help you to catch up. A lot of our coaches now are using this to train and coach and mentor people to go from the traditional means into social media to filling up their books. The other is that this is our official text over the top. The planner now is being used for social media. There's a tracking app now that is on your mobile to kind of take us all out of manual tracking. So there's just some really, really, really cool stuff going on. We even have a page called Summit Calcs, and inside of that page there are a number of different calculators for setting financial goals. Katie she's being coached by her salon owner as well as one of our Summit coaches. These are the calculators that they're using to set goals that are tied to their personal expenses, etc. So get on there and really just live on there, and you're going to find that in of itself is going to go a long way to help you to make big boom boom. So I always like to end by thanking our sponsors. That's L'Oreal PPD and all of their brands, Salon Centric, State Beauty Supply, RDA ProMart. Their support allows us to continue to evolve this thing and bring better training to you via online training, and of course my partners at Summit Salon Business Center. So wonderful show. I'm going to say goodnight, end it, and then we'll spend a few minutes doing some social.